Welcome to Friday. Friday. I'm on the air. First one in, Abdul Karim. What's up? Inner Mind, You Can Fly. What's up? Rod Raferi, Bugs Bunny. Emphasis on the bugs. Manvin, what's up? What's up, everybody? How's it going? Heavy Devi, what's happening here? Yo. Where you all watching from? Post it in the chat. Where are you watching from? What time is it there? What's up, Julio? Safan English. What's up, everybody? Sol Amain 4BK. First one there on YouTube. Welcome. Awesome. Hey, everybody. New subscriber from Algeria. Hey, welcome, Abdul. Good to see you all here. We're going to talk about mobile today, mobile apps. Of course, you can ask me any questions, but we're going to talk about iOS versus Android, Kotlin versus Swift versus Java versus React Native versus Flutter and everything in between. What's up, Rick Martinez? Hey, what's up, everybody? Midnight, Kosovo, Ukraine. Здравствуйте. Hey, Iran. Why is this not scrolling? Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about mobile apps today. Feel free to ask any questions. Welcome. Harush, 2 a.m. Xamarin. That's not even on the list. That doesn't even make the list. Yuck. Mustafa from Iran. What's up? It's overwhelming how many options there are to develop an app. Yeah. Well, let's break this down today. Let's break it down. So, what should you build an app with? Well, there are a lot of different approaches that you can do. So first, let's just talk about native apps. Okay, I'm going to talk about native Swift. Why do you want to learn native Swift in iOS? Well, first things first, full-time jobs. If you're looking for a full-time job, you need to learn native iOS and Swift. Like if you want to build iPhone apps, okay? Native iOS and Swift. They pay very well, and most companies in the United States, at least, they start with iPhone apps because iOS users spend the most amount of money. So native. Also in the United States, if you want a full-time job, Android with Kotlin. Do you need to learn Java? Should you learn Java to build Android apps? The answer is no. Google does not want you to build Android apps with Java. In fact, on their website, they say we are now Kotlin first. You need to learn Kotlin if you want to build Android apps natively. Why else would you want to build native apps instead of cross-platform apps? Why else would you want to learn native? Well, native is going to have the best performance of any type of tools because once you build cross-platform apps, you're adding a layer on top of it. You're adding a layer on top of the stack. And inherently, it's going to be slower. That's just the way it is. Maybe not hugely slower, but it's going to be slower no matter what you do than native app. That's just the way that it is. Like let's think about TikTok. They've probably built that all natively with some C++ even, like lots of video processing, lots of things going on. You wouldn't want to add extra layers on top of something that you want to go really fast. So should you learn Java if in addition to Kotlin? Well, maybe a lot of projects out there still use Java and Kotlin together, and a lot of companies are still migrating, so it's good to learn both, but definitely focus first on Kotlin. Our lead Android instructor at DevSlopes in the DevSlopes Academy, he's a full-time Android developer, works for a very large company, and they are Kotlin only. And the whole industry is moving that way, so Kotlin for Android. If you want a full-time job, at least in the United States of America. Now, it depends where you live. For instance, in India, there's a lot more Android jobs. There are native Android, but then there's a lot more cross-platform over in India versus iOS, for instance. So it also depends where you live. Now, when should you use cross-platform tools? There's a few use cases for cross-platform tools. One is you want to build your own app, and you would like to build it cross-platform. Maybe you have an audience already. And it's not hard to build for both platforms, though I do recommend if you are building your own app, you only start with one platform. Do not focus on two platforms at once. You will kill your business. I promise you that. I promise you with all my heart, you will destroy your business if you focus on two platforms at once. But you're building an app that you want to eventually have a single code base. And that's something I'm doing. So I launched a book recently on Kickstarter. You can find it right now. The campaign's about to end. It's called The Last Hacker on Kickstarter. And I'm actually building an app so people can listen to my book. So they can listen to the book on iPhone and Android. Now, this app isn't super complex. It's just kind of like Audible. And so what I'm going to be doing, I'm 99% sure, is probably building this application all with Dart and Flutter. That way I can have single code base to build an app. Remember, the app isn't very complex, right? It's pretty simple. I don't need heavy performance on the hardware side, low level stuff. I don't need anything like that at all. And so basically, I'm considering doing that so I can have a single code base to maintain for this particular application. I already have an audience. I'm not worried about the business or anything like that. I have an audience already. I'm not like prototyping this app to see if the app makes money. I actually collect money first and then send people to the app. So it's a supplemental tool. So I'm not worrying about trying to make two platforms successful at the same time. So it's a good choice for me. So cross-platform. Now, when else should you use cross-platform tools like React Native or Flutter and Dart? Another good use case for this to do that is when you want to do freelancing. There are so many projects on Upwork where someone's like, I need an iPhone app or I need an Android app, where you could easily upsell that person to launch two platforms and you can make more money. Also, a lot of people want both apps, and that's a great way to do it. They're looking to have an app built. They don't care what it's built with. They just want an app that is launched for them. And so you can save yourself time and money as a freelancer if you build with Flutter and Dart or React Native. So freelancing is a great place to have cross-platform development. You can also do freelancing with native development as well too. You can also do freelancing with native development. So there's lots of options there. Now, someone's mentioned Xamarin a couple times. Now, Xamarin allows you to build mobile apps with C#. I have used Xamarin extensively, and it is awful. It is the most awful platform. The only reason anyone should ever use Xamarin is if your whole team is .NET C# developers and you've got no other skill set. That's the only time you should use Xamarin. Xamarin is the worst system ever for building apps out there. And if you don't believe me, if you're like, Mark, whatever, all you have to do is go build an app with Xamarin and then build an app with Dart and Flutter, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I never want to touch Xamarin again. So don't take my word for it. Go build it yourself if you like. It is not even a fraction as good as Dart and Flutter or React Native. Not even a fraction. Will Kotlin get cross-platform support? I have no idea. I can't really speak to that. So let's talk about Dart and Flutter versus React Native for a minute. So React Native allows you to build mobile apps with React, more or less. They have special components for React Native. Instagram is built with React Native. Facebook is the core contributor to React Native. And it's a pretty cool tool set. So if you know React and web technologies, like in and out, like that's your thing, then you may want to consider learning React Native if you wanted to build cross-platform apps. Even Facebook recommends, it's not meant to be write code once, deploy everywhere. That wasn't their original intention. The original intention was to use it, build apps with web technologies and that they were fast. So don't think that it's just going to be a magic out-of-the-box thing. You can write code once, deploy to all platforms, okay? That wasn't the original intention. But now let's talk about Dart and Flutter. Dart and Flutter, in my professional opinion, is the absolute best cross-platform tool ever created for mobile apps. React Native sucks compared to Dart and Flutter. And I know this because I've built apps with React Native and I've built apps with Dart and Flutter. Working with Dart and Flutter is the most amazing experience you will ever have building apps. It is absolutely phenomenal. If you want a delightful experience for your cross-platform apps, use Dart and Flutter. Now, Dart and Flutter also has support for web as well as for cross-platform desktop apps. So you can write a single code base and then have iPhone apps, Android apps, desktop apps. So if you're a company that wants to create their own app or startup, Dart and Flutter may be the choice for you because you can write a core amount of your code all in Dart, reuse your UI components across all of those platforms, which is absolutely fantastic. Dart and Flutter is amazing. And keep in mind, I have been building React apps since like 2015. Yeah, someone here says, Julian, you taught me React back in 2016. Thanks to those lessons today in 21, I moved to Europe and have a great job. That's awesome, Julian. So I've been developing React for a long time, and I can tell you without a doubt that Dart and Flutter is 10 times better developer experience building mobile apps. Absolutely. And here's a perfect example. We did a tutorial recently. It's on our YouTube. Jason, our full stack developer, did a tutorial on how to build your very first React Native app. Like, out of the box, React Native doesn't work. You get errors out of the box on React Native. You get errors out of the box. He spent over 2 hours debugging just getting build tools and systems working. Conversely, Dart and Flutter, you run it, install it, and the first time it just works. That's the whole experience behind Flutter. It's run by Google, or they're the primary contributor behind it. Dart and Flutter are far superior to React Native in every single way. So if you are considering cross-platform apps, I highly recommend you go to Dart and Flutter. Now, if you're a web developer and you're a master of React, it probably makes sense just to use React Native because you already know React in and out. You don't have to learn anything new. If you want to get a full-time job, learn native Swift and iOS, or learn native Android and Kotlin. Okay? Don't learn Java for Android. Kotlin is the future of Android. Now, I know somebody was mentioning in here earlier Swift UI. So now we have Swift UI. It's this new way to build user interfaces for iOS. That is the future for native app development on iOS. Swift UI makes building iPhone apps just like working with Dart and Flutter. It works the exact same. It's reactive, declarative, component-based user interface. It's the future of iOS. If you're building a new app, build it in Swift UI. Are there jobs for Swift UI yet? Not really. It's all still UI kit, just so you know. But within a few years from now, everything's going to be moving over to Swift UI. It is far superior. Far superior. Okay, let's look at what we got here. Some questions. I'm a freelance programmer. Okay, yeah. What do you think React Store Management is required? React Store Management, like Angular dependency injection? I'm not sure what you're asking, but I do like Angular's dependency injection. React doesn't have great built-in systems for that kind of stuff. My teacher in programming school teaches how to do boxes in Excel. Nice. I heard that Kotlin documentation is better than Swift documentation. Apple's never had great documentation. Apple's documentation has always been great. Their tutorials and examples is what sucks. They document everything, but I can't speak to the Kotlin and Flutter because I haven't gone through their documentations thoroughly. Which is easier and better? The easiest way to build mobile apps, the absolute easiest way, is Dart and Flutter, hands down. Why Ionic isn't the title? Because Ionic sucks too. Xamarin sucks. Ionic sucks. Nobody should be using those. If you're using those tools, move on to better things. Those platforms they're dying. They're not good. Not at all. They're not good at all. They're junk. I've used those platforms. They're junk. There's no reason to use that stuff, especially with Dart and Flutter. Can you outline the learning roadmap for Flutter? I don't know. I mean, they have amazing documentation and tutorials. I have a course on Flutter on our website. Ionic and Xamarin are legacy. I would agree. When will you be replying to messages on Kickstarter? I've been replying. Maybe I missed one. I don't know. I don't see any messages. Let's see. What else? Dark Slayer, what's up? What next to learn after learning Kotlin, UX, Android development? I don't know. Are you paid? Are you a paid developer? Get a job. Be working in that stuff. Enhance your skills. Um, hey, what's up, everybody? What does job outlook look like for Flutter? There's no jobs for Flutter at all. Not really. When I say no, I mean it means very few. There's also not very many jobs for React Native. Like in India, there's a few jobs. You'll find more jobs for React Native, but there's no full-time jobs for Flutter or React Native. Not really. Not compared to native. Like I said earlier, if you want a full-time job, learn native Swift for iOS or native Kotlin for Android. You really can't get a job, full-time job doing Flutter or React Native. There's very few. I'm just saying there's very few jobs for that if compared to the searching that you do for the native jobs. You can look. You don't have to take my word. You can go to look on LinkedIn and you can see the jobs that are available. How to become a career as a professional hacker? Take some cyber security courses. Yep. Watch Mr. Robot. Or watch that early 90s movie. What's it called? Hackers, the one with Angelina Jolie. Ionic is coming MVVM, MVC structure. However, create React app not coming this structure. Can we build this structure? No, don't change the structure. Like use the tools the way they're built. React and React Native are declarative component based, reactive type programming. Don't change. MVC also is old school. I declarative programming and reactive programming is definitely, in my opinion, better than MVC. MVC is a little bit outdated. How maybe take time to finish and ready work as a full stack? Give yourself 8 months. Spend 2 to 3 hours a day for 8 months, and you'll be ready to work. Yeah. We're talking about iOS versus Android, everybody who's just coming in. Now that development in Android, 100% Kotlin, do you think they will get scrolling to be as good as iPhone? Rick, Android will never be as good as iPhone. And the reason for this is because iPhone seamlessly integrates hardware with software. It's the dream team, right? They make sure both are perfect. With Android, that's not the case. With Android, you've got the Android software, and then it's up to the manufacturers like Samsung, etc., to build these OEM interfaces with the software. And they don't really care. They're just trying to get a phone out. Like they don't care. They're ready to pump out one phone after the next phone. And when things go out of date, they don't update it. They don't fix it. You know, it's very common for Android phones to never get updated, right? The best Android phone I've ever used is the Google Pixel because they put a lot more love and effort into it. And so like you'll get smoother scrolling on that. But Android will never operate as powerfully as iOS. It's impossible. It is not possible. It's just not possible until a hardware manufacturer takes it seriously. But remember, Apple owns both the software and the hardware, so they make it perfect together. Big companies still use Storyboard? Yeah, they do. In fact, people come to me saying they don't use it anymore, but like what I've seen around, like at least 65 to even up to 70% of companies still use storyboards. Like even big companies, like, yeah, you've got like Google and stuff. You'll see a Google engineer who's like, yeah, we never use storyboards. You know, we always use programmatic, and you will find that. And programmatic's better. But for real, like huge amount of companies still use storyboards. MVC is king if you want to build large scale apps. I think that's debatable. Future's all about platforms. Stick to the platforms and never go hybrid. Will Go framework make their place in backend? I don't know. What is your advice for an experienced web developer who's starting with mobile dev, native, or Flutter? Just like I said earlier, it depends on your need, what you want to do. If you want to be a freelancer, sure, learn React Native, add it to your stack. Is Swift UI ready for production? It is. You know, there's some things that they're still building out on it, just like anything, but it's really awesome. The things that they've launched are production ready. I'm especially interested of the Combine framework, you know, observables and things like that. That makes iOS development really nice. What do you think about Vue future against React? I think, you know, just kind of follow what's popular. React is more popular. Vue does the same thing as React. That's my opinion. How often do you back up data? What data? What are you talking about? What's the difference between programmatic and storyboards? Storyboards on iOS is where you drag and drop elements on actual screens. It's all visual, and then you connect your code to the elements. It's kind of time consuming, and it's cool at first, but it becomes a nightmare. Programmatic UI on iOS is where you actually just do it all in code. You position things in code, you add them to the views in code. Uh, you'll write some more code that way, but it's much more testable and manageable. And I like never having to open the storyboards. They can be slow sometimes. Can you explain Combine? Combine's like a framework or set of frameworks that allow you to do reactive type of programming. Um, there's in the past there's been model view controller, right, where you just pass a controller manages stuff from the view, handles it off to models, vice versa, whatever. Whereas Combine is declarative. It's more like React, where you can build out components and have data like injected into them with observables. You can look up reactive programming. I would Google search Combine, benefits of using Combine in iOS. There's some good articles out there on that. Why do Objective-C developers get paid more? It's because it's not used as much anymore. I've seen that as well too. They are paid more. It's because it's not used as much anymore, and so developers are harder to find. Will Go's frameworks make their place in the backend? Go is spreading rapidly. The Go programming language is spreading rapidly. It's replacing C++ in a lot of cases as well too. So it's got its place everywhere, including backend. How do you know all of these things? I only know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. A lot of people ask me about data science, for instance, and I can't really speak to that. Or artificial intelligence, machine learning. I have no interest in that. I don't speak to that stuff. So I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. I've been programming for like 15 years, and it's my job to know and to learn and to study and to try things out. I learned Android with Java teaching from you on Udemy. It was great. Thanks. If you want to learn professional web app, must you learn security? No. Is Dart good for big mobile projects app? Yeah, Dart is awesome. There's some huge companies using Dart. And in India, it's really taken off. What resources do you use to stay up to date with technology? I just follow the top technology. That's all. I follow the top things in mobile and web. So my focus at DevSlips Academy, so we teach people one-on-one, we coach. We have a coaching program where we teach you and we get you a job guaranteed and get you paid work. So it's my job to know all about web development and apps and backend development. So I'm really focused on getting people jobs in startups and in mid-level companies. So I research technologies and things in that arena. So for instance, I don't spend a lot of time in Oracle or Java Enterprise or .NET Enterprise, because those are enterprise things, and those are types of jobs that typically you have to have experience to get into. So I tend to focus more on these open source technologies and mobile technologies. So that's all. And I know some other things too. Like I was in the game industry. I know it pretty well. Things don't change. We say things change quickly in tech, which they do, but they also don't change quickly. A lot of things stick around and stay the same. Do you recommend learning Go programming language? I would say if you have other programming skills already, yes. Like, what do you want to learn it for? There are jobs in Go if you can master it, but most of those jobs aren't entry level. So if this is your first time getting a job, like maybe it's not the best idea. But I mean, if you want to learn it, just learn it. But I think somebody who is already good at programming should learn it and master it, and you can get a really high paying job as a Go developer doing backend stuff. What's your view on blockchain in 5 years? I think it's awesome. I think it's going to continue to grow. What is your dream? I don't really have dreams anymore. I've accomplished all my dreams. I run a company. I have kids. I have written a book. I just am reciprocating, just here helping people now. Like, I literally don't have some crazy big dream I'm working for anymore. I focus on the day to day, enhancing my skills, doing cool things. But I don't know. I've done so many things now that, like, I know without a doubt I could accomplish anything I want to in my life. Like, I know how to learn stuff. I've trained myself. Like, I can learn anything in the world. I could learn how to build rockets if I wanted to. I could learn how to be a nuclear engineer if I wanted to. Like, I've just learned how to learn. And so because I know that and have done that, it's just like, you know, what's the dream, I don't know. Like, money is shallow. I've had money, I've had other things. It's just, focus on the day to day. Focus on doing something great every day, learning every day, being productive every day, and you'll be happy. Yeah, that's my thoughts. All right, let's see. When can we write business logic in Kotlin and Swift with ease, speed? I don't know how to answer that. What are some practical learning tips for learning something new? I do have tips for that. And it's the same thing that we do at DevSlopes Academy is you need to have a roadmap, curriculum built out day by day or week by week. Like I'm learning Japanese right now, and I'm teaching my kids it as well. So every day I go get the topics, the content, and every day I print out a chapter, and with exercises, there's always exercises every single day, and I print it out and we do it every single day. Consistency and exercises are key. Consistency and exercises. It's one of the reasons why online courses don't work very well. Why a lot of people drop out is because you don't get to execute. You're just watching endless amounts of videos. So you need a curriculum, you need a path, and hopefully it takes you somewhere. And then you need hands-on exercises and projects to do every single day. So that's what we do at DevSlopes Academy. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one and have me coach you and train you to become a full-time developer, just go to devslopes.com/apply, and I will work with you one-on-one and help you get a job or become a paid freelancer. devslopes.com/apply. Yeah. Someone said, is C++ good to start for learning programming? Look, if you're looking to get a job as fast as possible, the answer to that question is no. If you're looking to become a game developer, like that's your dream, then the answer to that question is yes. If you're looking to work for NASA or on robots, the answer is yes. But if you're looking to get a job as soon as possible, the answer is no. Don't learn that. It's too hard, and it takes too long to get a job, and it's not the best or easiest language to learn. So that's my thoughts on that. How many members are in the DevSlopes Academy already? Oh boy. We launched about a year ago. I don't know. I think it's a few hundred. Is a job in Java backend worth it? It's my first job. I don't know how much on how to go about it. Well, if you have a job, that's great. That's great. Keep at it. How to create apps on iOS or Android. We talked about this earlier. You can do native Swift and iOS, native Kotlin or Android, or you can go cross-platform with React Native or cross-platform with Dart and Flutter. How to prevent comparing yourself as a programmer to others? Well, stop doing it. Just stop. Just stop. Don't do it. There's no value in it. You uploaded in your account, don't learn C++. Why? I think C++ is very important to understand programming, right? No. You can, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can learn any programming language, right? You're going to get better and better and better. Like, you're going to get better and better. If you want to learn it, if you're passionate about it, then learn it. But it doesn't matter. You can learn Python or JavaScript, and you're going to get better and better. For me, I learned to code on my own, got really good at it. I made $100,000 a year as a developer before I knew before I even was good with data structures and algorithms, before I knew anything at all in depth, anything at all. I was making $100,000 a year. So you have to ask yourself, what is your goal? If your goal is to be a perfect programmer before you get paid to do it, well, good luck to you. Go spend 4 years fiddling around. That's your prerogative. Enjoy what you're doing. For me, I had a life. I had family, kids. I wanted to do things. And so I learned to code as fast as possible. And then I kept learning along the way. And then a few years later, I learned C++. So does it help you to learn the foundations? Well, any language does. Like, it's about repetition and exercising. Like, learning C and C++ does not put you ahead of anybody else at all. Not at all. Never, never at all. If you have a need to learn it, you should learn it. But don't think that it's going to give you an advantage over anyone else, because it won't. Experience and hard work is going to give you the skills you need to grow. Not a programming language, not the most low-level language you could think of. Learning assembly doesn't all of a sudden make you a powerful web developer, okay? It does not work like that. Xamarin. We already talked about Xamarin. We're not talking about... You even got C# in your title. I love C#, and it's cool if you want to use Xamarin, but compared to the other platforms, it's not great. If you were to switch from native to cross-platform, which framework would you go to? I mentioned this earlier, but Dart and Flutter for sure. I want to learn web developing. I don't know, use PHP or Python. I need some help. Well, why do you want to learn PHP? You have to ask yourself that question. If you want to be a full stack web developer, I recommend HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. And then for the backend, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to learn a new language, you could actually use Node and Express, or you could learn Python. I don't recommend learning PHP if you're going to learn something new. I just don't think there's a great appeal for that. Is doing a master's in data science good? I can't really speak to data science, but I'm a big believer in not getting degrees for things related to tech and coding and such. But you got to know good math. Is C# worth? Man, these questions are coming in. Visual programming in Flutter? You don't need anything like that. Flutter's just learn Flutter and Dart. Is C# worth learning in 2021? Yeah, if you want to go that route, you can use it for games, Unity, or you can also do .NET Core, which is super awesome. Yeah, there's huge opportunities there. This is David. I did the exercise to build a website last night. My family was impressed. Oh, David, I want to see if you haven't posted already. That's awesome. Congrats. How do you make yourself code in your free time after doing it for work most of the day? I don't personally because I'm running a company now. I know lots of developers who don't either. I mean, if you want to, you can. It's all about projects for me. Like, find something meaningful to work on. Don't just learn new languages. Go find something meaningful to build. I'm running out of voice here. Usually the Fridays are really slow. What about Maui.net? I don't know what that is. What is the best option to start learning programming? I suggest JavaScript or Python. What about algorithms? Should you master them? Yeah, you'll just keep solving coding problems will help you get better with data structures and algorithms, coding challenges, things like that. That's the kind of stuff we do at DevSlips Academy. .NET 5 is even better. Yeah. Do C# if you're interested in Microsoft technologies. Otherwise, you should go for Java. I would take C#, .NET Stack over Java any day personally. I think C# is a much fresher language, and I think the technologies are fresher under .NET. They're more modernized. C programming is best to start programming. No. Can you tell about students of DevSlips Academy? Well, at DevSlips Academy, we teach on iOS. We have iOS development, Android development, native iOS, native Android, and front-end web development. And it's a 16-week program where we train the students. They do projects, so many projects. They're building tons of projects. We grade the projects. We look at their code. Then when they're done, we'll look at their resumes. We'll help them start applying for jobs. We'll help them get those jobs. You get permanent access, until you get a job. That's what we do. It's all project focused, coaching focused. You can apply at devslips.com/apply. Is learning Spring Boot at this time great for web? Like I said, I don't recommend that stack except for enterprise, but if you're a Java person, then yeah, learn Spring Boot. Learning React Native, say something about it for me. React Native it can be tough at times. I don't really have anything to say about it. You just got to learn it, I guess. Is Flutter good for mobile game development? I would say no. Is diploma important in the United States? Nope, not at all for software. In Europe, it's a little more important. In UK, less important, but there are countries like Amsterdam and Germany where I've seen that degrees from universities are much more important. Yeah. .NET Core is awesome. Where should I start if I want to be an Android developer? I would say learn Kotlin and Android. Take some free courses. You can join our program if you want. We'll coach you there all the way with real developers coaching you. Okay, I got to spam you. I got to block you, Esau. You're spamming my channel here. Would you hire SB for React with basic React knowledge but with 2 years Angular experience? I would. I talked about this yesterday, but if someone was good with JavaScript, that's why knowing JavaScript is so important. I wouldn't care if they knew React or Angular. I would just have them learn one or the other. Are you able to import Apple's SDKs into Flutter? So, yeah, you write plugins, Rick. You write plugins in Flutter that can access native APIs. Yep. So, okay. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. This was a great chat. If you want to become a paid developer, work with me, have me yelling at you like this, you can apply at devslopes.com, devslopes.com/apply. Don't forget that I also have a Kickstarter going on for my personal book. It's called The Last Hacker. It's The Last Hacker on Kickstarter. You just go to Kickstarter and you search for The Last Hacker. It's a fiction novel, and you can also get $1,200 worth of courses for 47 bucks. This is ending in just a few days. The Last Hacker Kickstarter is ending in just a few days. It's my book. Come support me. They've got all kinds of pledge levels there. I posted the link there, but just for Instagram, search Kickstarter, The Last Hacker, and you can support that book. Join me at DevSlopes Academy, and see you later, everybody.